Spring is almost here, which means busy, busy, busy for us here on the homestead. I need to get my garden prepped and ready for all of my cool weather crops, and we also have some chicks that we're hatching this year inside. So there is so much to do, and today I'm going to take you with me. Pretty girls, pretty girls.
Close our eyes, the current sweeps right over us. Feel the world spin around again.
There you go, girlie.
Hold your breath, we're diving.
Got a lot of happy chickens.
Something bigger than anything we've ever been.
One of my favorite things about owning chickens is being able to recruit them to help me with tasks around the homestead. And one thing I like doing is bringing them down to this garden space and letting them scratch around and find bugs. This is something that they like to do naturally, and they really like to scratch around in mulch. They like to scratch around in piles of things. And so this specific garden space is where I keep my flowers, and it's just all mulch right now, and it's the perfect place for my chickens. One thing you need to keep in mind if you put chickens in a gated area where they can't get out is that you probably want to be outside while they're in that specific area. There are aerial predators everywhere, and if your chickens don't have a place to hide, there's a good chance that they might get snatched by an aerial predator like a hawk. So I only like to let them out in this little gated area whenever I'm out here in the garden, or I'm planning to be out here all day. Even if I'm not working in this specific garden, but I'm in my other garden, I can keep an eye out for those aerial predators, and if I need to come over here to protect my flock, I can. Right now we only have 4 hens. We previously had 6, but lost 2 of our older hens over the winter, and that's only going to be short-lived because, like I said, we have some chicks that are getting ready to hatch indoors. So hopefully our flock size grows up to 10 to 15 chickens. I'm really excited about that because they are just a workhorse when it comes to homesteading, and they provide us eggs, and they're such a joy to have around. So I'm really hoping that a lot of those eggs that we have inside hatch. Are you finding a lot of juicy bugs? It just rained yesterday, so you should have plenty of wormies in there, huh? Both of my garden spaces look similar with a lot of dead plants everywhere. Typically I try to clean up everything in the fall, but if you recall, in the fall of this past year, we were framing our other house. So I did not have the time to be focused on cleaning up this area, and I knew that I would have time in the spring. So that's what I'm gonna be doing today, is pulling up a bunch of these plants, putting them in a wheelbarrow and taking them elsewhere. I also plan to share a little bit more about our Vigo garden bed, but let's go get the wheelbarrow. Ew! Ew, stink bugs. Ew! Oh, so gross. Ugh. Oh, jeez.
That escalated quickly.
Get out of my glove. That's farm life for you. Stink bugs everywhere. Girl, it's been 5 minutes and you're already taking a nap? You say, that sun is so nice though, huh? You like the sun.
Love me lighthouse, oh, to lead you home. Stars and the moon illuminating every road.
If you're newer to raising chickens, or maybe you don't have chickens right now, one thing that they absolutely love is picking at the roots of plants. And so typically when I'm trying to clean up an area, I try to leave the roots in the ground to encourage biological activity, whether it be worms or whatever, get to like break down the roots. But sometimes with bigger plants like these plants here, those used to be sunflowers, it can be really difficult to just pull up the stalk of the plant and not the roots. And so when I pull it up and I put it on its side, the chickens love to pick around, and there's typically a lot of worms on those root balls. So that's an idea for if you're trying to entertain your chickens in a run. You could pull up some plants with the root balls on them and give it to them in their run, and they'll go crazy over it. Right now, they're kind of disinterested because there's a ton of other things to peck around at, but just an idea to entertain your chickens in the winter. I have my first wheelbarrow full of plants. I'm actually going to be dumping these in the woods because since I waited so long to clean up this area, a lot of these plants have gone to seed. So if you see here, this is celosia, and there's going to be a ton of seeds inside of here, which I know I'm going to have a lot of reseeding in this area anyways. These were all flowers, so I'm fine with that. But to limit the amount of seeds that get into our compost bin, I'm just going to dump the plants somewhere in the woods back here. This is really gross, but also really funny, so I need to share it with you. I'm pretty sure that the gloves that I've been wearing this whole time have been peed on by cats, by our farm cats, because I kept smelling it. And I'm like, where the heck is this cat pee smell coming from? Like, why do I keep getting whiffs of it? And then I smelled the gloves, and needless to say, I'm gonna be running up to the house right now to go wash my hands because that is absolutely disgusting. And I'm also gonna be washing the gloves. And just for some context, where I keep some of my garden stuff is kind of a mess. The gloves were sitting on the ground, so there's a good chance that it was cat pee from one of our farm cats. So yeah, I'm a little grossed out, but gonna wash my hands before I touch anything else. I'm back with clean hands and clean gloves. I'm not gonna lie, there's not much that grosses me out on the farm, but that definitely grossed me out. So those gloves are gonna be going in the wash. These ones were on a shelf, so I'm pretty sure there were no cats that got onto the shelf to pee on these. They smell fine, and I'm gonna use them now.
So what's going on here?
I'm gonna have you take these up to the run. They like to scratch through the root balls of plants, and so I set some aside that we can go and put in their run so that when they're back up there and they're bored, they have something to do. Because there's too much around here for them right now. They're not interested in scratching at them, but I know they will in their run.
I'm just hired help today. Getting ready to head over to the property for a little bit of work, but the boss says I have to come help in the garden first.
Another thing I'm gonna have you do is I need a rake and a shovel. Not a rake, I need the pitchfork to stir the bed, the Vigo garden bed. And then I also want a shovel because there's definitely either poison ivy or the oriental bittersweet coming up right here. You see these big balls, and these are both invasive, so I wanna dig them up. I'm pretty sure that this is
big balls? Where's the big balls?
Big, yeah, like I can't dig that with a little tiny shovel.
Oh, it's a big ball.
Yeah, so I want to use a big shovel to get this out because I'm pretty sure that this is oriental bittersweet, which is an invasive species. This whole entire area in this specific garden space, oh, the chickens are getting out. This garden space used to be a couple of dead trees and a ton of bittersweet and poison ivy, and we spent a lot of time cleaning it up, but there's still definitely some in this area specifically, and then some along the back fence. And so by me cleaning up this area right now, I'm gonna have the ability to see where there is some of those invasive species, and I can pull them up. Like right here, I can see this is oriental bittersweet that has reseeded, and I can pull it up now that I've cleaned up some of this area.
You go, girl.
Woohoo! Come on. All right, you girls got out. Come on, come back in.
Come on, birds.
Come back in. You got work to do.
We got one confused bird. There we go.
Come on, come on.
Oh. Holy smokes.
All right, I'm gonna go grab their water too. Welcome to Elaina and Alex's homestead, where the chicken door is completely destroyed and we still have not fixed it 3 months later, but we'll get to it.
Oh, it just was bad construction to start with. You just want me to just like put this on the ground?
Yeah, it's just for them to be entertained. Wow, their water really
I feel
needs
like we've done this before.
clean.
And it just ends up looking like trash in here.
It's just to entertain them for a bit. Well, I'll clean it up after. All right, I gotta clean this water.
Big old sunflowers.
Oh, hey, Mr. Groundhog. You are a little too close for comfort here. You are literally right between both of my gardens. Not cool. Mr. Groundhog isn't even scared of me. He just keeps coming out. Oh, here comes the chickens. You coming back in? Coming to help mommy? Majority of the garden is pretty cleaned up and I'm really happy with the progress that I made today. But this is one thing that I definitely need to work on, which is my Vigo garden bed. So this is the only raised garden bed that I have. And last year after getting it, I realized that it seriously takes so much volume to fill it up. And I was convinced that I wasn't gonna buy any soil to fill it up. So last year we only had a couple of squash volunteer plants grow out of what I had put in here. And so over the winter, I put some of the chicken bedding in here. You can see that's these pine shavings. I also threw a bunch of leaves in here. So I'm just gonna try to spend some time kind of stirring this up as best as I can. I don't know how easy this is gonna be because I also have some sunflower stalks in here, which they seem to have broken down quite a bit. But yeah, I'm gonna try to stir this up so that it breaks down a little bit quicker and hopefully I can use it for my warm weather crops. I'll probably have to add a bunch of compost to it, but if I can get things to break down quicker, that would be ideal. What do you think, huh? Did you guys see the groundhog too? It's getting hot in here. I'm gonna have to take off my jacket. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Come here. What's you girls doing? Huh? You gonna help mommy stir this up? So I think part of my problem why this isn't breaking down very well is because I don't have any green material in here. I primarily only have brown material. And in order for microorganisms to thrive in a compost, you really do need green and brown material. So probably what I'll do is in the very early season when we get a lot of grass and we cut it back, I'll probably harvest a bunch of that grass and put it in here so that I have some green material. And then I'll mix this up and then it should theoretically break down quicker. Also with the temperatures getting warmer, that's ultimately going to help it break down a little bit quicker. But if I can plant some of my warm weather crops in here, which sometimes I'm planting those things out into the first and second week of June, then that would be really great. Now, anytime you have a large raised bed like this, you can take up a majority of the base space using leaves. You can use a little bit of cardboard. You can use sticks, rotten logs. So for me, what I did was a base layer of cardboard. I put some big logs that we've had on the property for a really long time that have been rotting. Put that down next, put some sticks on top, put some leaves, and then I did put a pretty big layer of compost, but since there were so many voids and spaces between all those branches and the big logs, it kind of just fell down to the bottom. And so I still need a ton more material on here. And one thing I was considering is when we get some soil delivered to our new property, when we have to do our final grading and plant grass over there, I may take some of that soil and just bring enough over here so that I can fill up this bed and then put some really, really awesome compost on top. So that's another option. It's really difficult, from what I'm learning, to fill up one of these beds with only material that you have. You need a lot of compost or organic material to fill them up. So if I can lessen the amount that I need and hopefully not have to buy anything other than maybe take some from the property when we get that soil, then that would be really, really awesome. If you're new to homesteading and composting in general, another great source of green material is your food waste. So maybe what I'll start doing is when we have our compost bin fill up in the kitchen, I'll bring it down here just to have some extra green. Like I said, most of this is dead brown material, and that should be pretty good. Definitely need some green material. Holy moly. Oh man, guys, this is a huge thing. This is huge.
Sometimes they say huge.
This is terrible. Let's see what I can do. Oh my gosh. Can I pull it by hand? Ready? Good form. Oh my gosh. I hate this stuff. Woo! This is a workout. Oh. Stuff is nasty. Lots of buggies. Yes, this is a really long route. Oh my gosh. This is impossible. The route started over here, coming all the way over here. So I'm glad I'm getting this up now. Probably gonna have to dig with a shovel again. Definitely not what we want in the garden. I'm sorry. I know, you guys get spooked really easily. Thing is huge.
Huge.
Okay. Well, I think that did it. I think I just broke it off. That's okay. I can see all these baby plants of this bittersweet. Stuff is terrible. I think I got the majority of it that's right there. Okay. What do you guys think? Did we get it? Did we get the bad plant? This is my other garden area. I'm not going to get to it tonight because it's getting dark. But you can see there is a lot of work to do, including fix this broken door. There's a trellis back there that fell down. I've had groundhogs rampaging in here, and you can see they munched off a ton of my stuff in the fall. And there's just a lot to be done. So stay tuned for updates on this area. This is my primary garden. This is where I plant most of my vegetables. So definitely need to get it cleaned up ASAP. It's starting to get dark, so I'm gonna wrap up this video, but I made a lot of progress today. I'm super excited about it. I hope you learned a thing or two along the way. Make sure to subscribe if you're not already, and I'm gonna be giving you guys way more updates this year on my garden. It's something that I'm extremely passionate about, and I've had it on my heart lately to just share more about the process so that you guys can see all of the hard work that goes into making a beautiful garden.
We're diving into something real.